And we start this morning with an update to a story we've been following involving suspicious deaths in Rio Rancho. This morning, we now know that the two people dead are a father and his 7-year-old daughter.
Police say it's an apparent murder-suicide, and this morning a neighborhood is in shock. Officers say the pair was discovered dead after the girl's mother called her ex-husband to ask about her daughter, but hadn't heard back. That's when she called police, and they sent an officer to check on the family. When that officer got there, he was greeted by the man's older son, who went to check on the girl and his father. It was then the son found the bodies inside the house. It's not clear if he was home when the deaths happened. People who know that man say he was going through a tough time, but they can't believe it came to this. Reaction from neighbors coming up in our next half hour.
After a heated debate, a bill to keep driver's licenses out of the hands of undocumented immigrants is now heading to the state Senate. The House passed it last night with a vote of 39 to 29. 2 Democrats even joined Republicans in voting for it. Now, many Democrats are opposed to an outright repeal, but Republicans say it would put New Mexico in line with federal requirements of the Real ID Act. The bill faces a tough fight in the Democrat-controlled Senate, though. Right now, New Mexico is among 10 states and the District of Columbia that issue driver's licenses to illegal immigrants.
2 minutes past 5, we're staying on top of a bill that would make it illegal for people to smoke in a car with a child inside. That proposal has now cleared a hurdle at the state capitol. It passed a House committee on a 6-3 vote. Some lawmakers say smoking with a child strapped in the back seat really amounts to a form of child abuse. The legislation includes cigarettes, e-cigs, and other tobacco products. The penalty would be $250. Other lawmakers had civil rights concerns and felt the fine is too high.
It's now 5:03. After staying tight-lipped, AFD confirms it is now looking into allegations that a female paramedic is being sexually harassed by fellow firefighters. This comes a day after News 13 exposed the allegations. Her attorney says yesterday was the first time an outside investigator contacted Adele Parker about her sexual harassment claims, which she says started years ago.
They've never investigated it until Channel 13 began their investigation and went on the news last night to point out what happened in this new incident.
In the latest incident, Parker says she found a camera in her room. In the lawsuit against the city, it describes a workplace where women aren't welcome. AFD would not grant Parker paid leave until the investigation into the recent incident is finished. Instead, they said she could work at a different firehouse or the administrative offices with Chief Dave Downey. But Parker's lawsuit claims Downey also made a sexual comment towards her.
5 corrections officers claim they faced constant sexual harassment at work and their supervisors didn't do anything. The woman filed a lawsuit naming the Secretary of Corrections, the Los Lunas warden, and more than 20 other male corrections officers. The more than 100-page lawsuit makes hundreds of claims over several years, including one woman who says a fellow male guard exposed himself to her, and still another who claims male guards made sexually threatening phone calls to her. They all say they made regular complaints that were ignored and that some of the men were even promoted. Yesterday, the state placed the warden and 4 others on administrative leave, and there are a number of allegations in the lawsuit. You can read it all online right now, KRQE.com. A group of high schoolers is tackling a long-time problem in New Mexico, homelessness.
Yes, students at the Great Academy are addressing the root of the problem with kits aimed to help the homeless get jobs. News 13's Catherine Mazzone got the inside story and found out more about this program. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal. Their slogan is "Take a step towards greatness and everything will be A-OK." A-OK, which is also assistant occupational kits, are complete with everything you need to land a job.
We can see we have our dress pants and our size, shirt and dress shoe size. Also comes with belt, socks, toiletries.
That's Isaac Ramirez. He's part of the Great Academy's Board of Young Executives. That's the school's equivalent to a student council. Ramirez showed us exactly what goes into each kit. Each box is gender specific and includes dress clothes and shoes suitable for an interview, plus toiletries like shampoo, shaving cream, and deodorant. In addition to looking the part, those who receive a box can act the part too. Kits also include interview tips and a resume template, job applications to several local businesses. Students say a national youth conference in D.C. inspired them to get involved to address homelessness.
If you just give them food and blankets, it's just a temporary solution. It helps them feel better for the moment, but we want to give them the tools so that they can feed themselves eventually and that they can get their own blankets so that they're in a more comfortable environment and that they're able to support themselves.
Now students are focused on getting their new product to those who can use it. Coming up in our next half hour, I'll tell you how students are getting the AOK off the ground and why they'll soon be in the national spotlight. Back to you, Crystal.
All right, thanks, Catherine. Now, the Great Academy is a charter school where students say they focus on service-driven learning, that is, making a difference in their community. A grand jury has indicted a man accused of killing two Santa Fe teens. 20-year-old Ricardo Ricky Martinez is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder and other charges. Police say Martinez shot and killed 18-year-old Venancio Cisneros and his 13-year-old girlfriend, Ana Marie Ojeda. Their bodies were found in a car near Highway 599 and I-25 back in October. Martinez was caught a month later. There's no clear motive released at this time. An Alabama police officer could lose his job after assaulting and severely injuring a man.
We do want to warn you, the video we're about to show you could be considered disturbing for some. Now, you can see in this dash cam that he was thrown to the ground pretty hard by Madison police officer Eric Parker. The officer says that man was not responding when questioned about allegedly peering into garages. When he reached into his pocket, the officer says he threw him to the ground. He's now partially paralyzed. The man's family says he was visiting from India and doesn't speak English. That family is now suing.
And the kickoff parade to Carnival in New Orleans turns violent overnight. The New Orleans Police Department says one person was killed, another wounded when gunfire erupted around 10 last night. Police say one victim was hit in the neck, the other in the chest. One 21-year-old victim died in surgery. Police are now questioning at least one person. And we start with an update to developing news we brought you yesterday. We learned the suspicious deaths inside a Rio Rancho home is an apparent murder-suicide, a father and his 7-year-old daughter. Investigators say the girl's mother called police to the home near Southern and Golf Course around 5:30 2 nights ago. That's after she could not get a hold of her ex-husband. The girl's brother, who told police he thought the two were sleeping, but after checking on them, he learned they were both dead. Police say they believe the father shot the girl, then shot himself. Neighbors are in disbelief.
That little girl was a cute, sweet little girl. I don't know why anyone would kill a little child like that.
She just turned 7, and I guess like 3-4 days ago was her 7th birthday, and they had balloons on the stop sign and everything, had a little party for her.
Now, the dad's landlord told News 13 the man had just lost his job and was in the middle of a custody battle over his daughter. Police would not confirm that with us. Police are not releasing any names at this time.
532 UNM police are investigating an attempted sexual assault on campus. Officers say a man grabbed a woman as she left Zimmerman Library about 6:30 Tuesday evening, put his hands around her mouth and held a pocket knife up to her. He tried to unbutton her jeans, investigators say, but she was able to kick him and run off. She told police the man did cut her twice. He's described as a white man about 5'6", wearing a black hoodie and jeans. And this comes just days after another female student says a man on a motorcycle slapped her on the behind. She told police she was walking near the biology building when that happened last week. He was speeding off on the yellow motorcycle by the time police got there. Students say both of these incidents together are troubling.
Considering how many emergency posts there are around, and I'm surprised that something like that would happen.
At night when I'm walking to my car, maybe have a friend come with me or be more cautious.
The man in the motorcycle attack, police say, was wearing a red helmet.
We told you yesterday the homeless camp forced to leave Tent City was given permission to move to a lot in the same area. But this morning, there is word they may get booted out of there too. Campers moved from First and Iron Wednesday night after the city told them they had to go or face a judge. The Bareilles Neighborhood Association then gave campers permission to stay at an empty lot on 2nd and Santa Fe. But the lot owner said he didn't, and he does not want them there. And neighbors agree.
Now we have these people here that are going to trash our neighborhood. They don't care.
The Community Coalition is now calling on the city to find another solution. And as the city continues to try and help that group of homeless people, a group of high schoolers is taking a new approach to tackle the issue.
They're getting to the root of the issue by offering those in need the tools necessary to land a job. News 13's Catherine Mazzone has the inside story on how they're doing it and their plans to take that idea to the national stage. Catherine?
Good morning, Adam. It's all included in a kit. These students have created AOKs, or assistant occupational kits. And they include everything from business attire for interviews to toiletries and even interview tips and resume templates.
We hope to develop this streamlined process to where we don't have to do this anymore. We have people that can see what they need, what sizes they have to write down, and they can just distribute from there. And we are just a carrier pretty much and a supplier basically.
Isaac Ramirez is a student at the Great Academy, a charter school focused on service-driven learning. He and other students on the school's board of young executives were inspired at a youth conference in D.C. last year and decided to get involved in making a difference in their community. From there, students came up with the idea for AOKs. Students say they hope to get the idea on the road so it can help people across the nation. This April, they'll have that opportunity. They've been chosen to present the kits to thousands of students from across the country at this year's National Youth Service Learning Conference in D.C. They say the council heading up the conference told them it's because they hadn't seen anything like this before.
So we decided to get down to the root, and people in D.C. were really impressed, and we're going to present there, so hopefully this can be spread nationally so that it doesn't start in just our community, that it's just going to go and like a spark, and it'll just ignite in other communities as well.
Students say there have been challenges along the way and obstacles to overcome, like getting all the donations necessary to put the kits together. Plus, they say they have to find a way to get the kits to people who need them. So far, they say a number of homeless advocacy groups have expressed interest. Back to you, Adam.
Catherine, thanks. If you'd like more information on how you can donate items for the kits or help send these kids to D.C., we've set up a link on our website, KRQE.com. We'll have that a little later this morning. One group is speaking against a project to create a new Bosque Trail in Albuquerque. Crews are working on that path right now. It will be a multi-use path and span from the Central Bridge to I-40. But the Sierra Club says city officials implemented the plan without public comment, adding it's bad for the environment. The city says it did hold public meetings and that environmental studies were conducted. The city says the project will be finished before bird nesting begins. We're getting a look at some of the evidence in the American Sniper trial today.
Marine vet Eddie Ray Routh is facing murder charges in the killing of 2 men, including sniper Chris Kyle. Kyle, a former Navy SEAL, was known as the deadliest sniper in American history. His autobiography, American Sniper, is now the highest grossing war movie of all time. Yesterday, jurors were shown video of Routh running from police after they caught up with him at his house. They were able to stop Routh using stop sticks to pop his tires. After that, police say Routh did not struggle when they tried to arrest him.
5:37 happening today. The president is in San Francisco to meet with top executives from tech and finance organizations. It's all for the nation's first cybersecurity summit. President Obama will sign an executive order encouraging companies to share more information about threats with the government and within the private sector. The moves follow a string of cyber assaults on large U.S. corporations, including Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Sony Entertainment.
And shocking video out of Colorado this morning shows an EMT swiping pain medication from a house he was called out to help a patient. When that patient got out of the hospital and could not find her painkillers, she pulled up her surveillance cameras. The woman says the EMT waited until she was in the ambulance to walk back and take the pills. The EMT has since been fired.